Hello folks. So today we speak about Ketu in the 4th house and Rahu in the 10th house. Now, being a Kendra house, Ketu can be difficult here. Right? 4th is our foundational house, just like 1, just like 7, just like 10. It is our home, it is our heart, it is our domestic life. Those are all 4th house signification. Yeah. So, let's discuss further. Ketu in the 4th house can indicate a loss of domestic comforts. Mother, land, property. There can, of course, be a move away from your home place, your birth country. Your 4th house is always birth country, birth place. So if it's a massive country like India, and you're born in Himachal, then Chennai would arguably be foreign to you, right? But typically, we take 4th to be the birth country, the birthplace. Ketu in the 4th house can cause turbulent emotions. But because it is Ketu, you may not be able to express these emotions clearly or comfortably. You may contain your feelings because you don't want them to overwhelm you. You may also find it difficult to express your love for others and accept others' love. Wherever there is Ketu, there can be rejection. There can also be separation. Though with Ketu, there is just a tendency to simply just cut and throw away. 4th house being symbolic of the mother, you may be rejecting her, or her rejecting you due to lack of nurturing. Mother is generally not supportive with this placement. With this Ketu, you can feel disconnected with all the relationships due to a lack of feeling love, or questioning what love is, or questioning how to express it. Do you show too much? Do you show too little? That sort of thing. With Ketu here, your early environment, your upbringing will have an enormous impact on you. This Ketu placement can often mean a difficult childhood, but you also have to see what else is going on in the chart. 4th house is usually the ages between 2 to 16. So these years can be difficult and may leave some emotional scars. If the chart is strong, this will make you stronger. If the chart is not strong, this may result in some emotional or mental disorders that would show up later in life. So check the condition of moon in the D1, in the D9. In your early years, you can also be the one to play the parental role, even toward your own parents, especially the mother. The family can also manipulate you to put their needs before yours. So balancing the needs of your family and yourself are a constant battle with this Ketu placement. 4th house Ketu can make it difficult to find what makes you happy, which also makes it difficult to find inner peace. And this is a reason that Ketu 4th house people prefer their own company, thus making it a good placement for nurturing your spiritual side, right? Because it's part of the moksha triangle. Psychic powers are possible with this placement, but again, in a weak horoscope, this can manifest as mental instability. Reason being is that mental instability and psychological issues are caused by an imbalance, right? It's usually an imbalance in the mutual coordination of the conscious and subconscious mind, right? And what are the nodes? The nodes are the expression of the subconscious. So that's why it's very important to see the dignity of the moon in your chart. to understand how this will play out. An afflicted moon can enhance these problems. You may also get dragged into more than you can handle on the psychic planes, as Ketu in the 4th can have some similarities with a moon and Ketu conjunction. Placement of this Ketu gives a strong attachment, though, to one's roots, and also knowledge. It gives strong knowledge also to one's roots, birth culture, religion, ancestral heritage, birthplace. But watch that you don't over-identify with these things, like nationality, culture, religion, family, birthplace. Because when you start letting go of these labels, which may be difficult to do, right, especially if you're having a Ketu in your earlier life. But once you let go of these labels, you can have a chance at finding true happiness and peace. You can also face issues with property at some point in your life. There may be a lot of moving. There may be problems with property. And this can be overwhelming when you're going through the nodal dasha, either Rahu or Ketu. We have to see the condition of Moon and Mars to see how problematic it will be. Yeah. You can also experience breaks in education, because Ketu gives breaks in education in the 4th house. It will disrupt that 4th house in some way. You may also feel uprooted and experience feelings of not fitting in at school or in your community, or a sense of belonging to any place also. It may be because you're moving a lot, or you just simply feel a disconnect with your culture or with your family as time goes by. There's a feeling of wanting to break free, but unless you experience a life event to cause this to happen, you can feel stuck where you are. Emotionally, you can be reactive. You can also be overly sensitive. Though you tend to be nurturing. You tend to be very nurturing to others and helpful and sweet, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. But watch that people don't take advantage of this. Right? So that's another reason to move toward that Rahu place in the 10th. Moving toward that Rahu place will give confidence, will give you confidence and self-respect. And later in life, you would feel much happier to offer support and comfort to others. With this Ketu placement, there will be unpredictable events in your life, which will bring highs and lows to your moods, to your emotions. But if you have a philosophical mindset, you'll ultimately make sense of these things. They may seem out of control at first, but you will ultimately make sense. You may function like the average person on the outside, but inside you can feel disconnected from everything. Again, it's that moksha trikona, right? Social interactions can feel like a strain to you. And one of the reasons is that you can be very sensitive to everything. There's also a feeling of lack of love in relationships, which can make you prefer your own company. This placement usually means a difficult first half of life and easier second half of life. Ketu in the 4th house can also suggest some strange circumstances surrounding your birth. So I'll give you my example. I actually have Ketu in the 4th from my moon sign, and I was born breech. And my mother was told that children who are born breech, they have special healing powers. And then when I looked it up, I also found that it was a signature for those who do not follow a traditional path in life, which is indeed true for Ketu in the 4th. Some cultures also say that it makes one more spiritually enlightened, with an ability to access a deeper level of consciousness. And this is the breech thing that I was talking about. So some unusual circumstance to your birth could very well be there. It can also give a special connection to the divine. So see if you have this placement, find out if there were any special or if there were any strange circumstances surrounding your birth. This Ketu gets better with time for sure. The trick is to use the knowledge inherent with this placement through the 10th house, which brings us Rahu in the 10th. So why is Rahu so praised in this house? This house is more than just your profession. It's the midhaven, the zenith point. Here the planet's mission is to take you to the highest visible platform. And who better to do that than Rahu? So this Rahu will make a great impact in your life, for better or for worse. 10th house is the highest, it's the strongest of the Kendra. And being Upachaya, it gets stronger with time. Rahu here, it can give strong willpower, it can give recognition, it can give fame, career success, breakthroughs in your field. Right? So it also makes you very concerned with self-respect and your image. So you can gain fame, popularity here, especially after middle age, when you pass the maturity of Rahu and you begin to understand the essence of Rahu. Rahu matures at 42, but we take Rahu ages to be anywhere from 42 to 47. If Rahu is not well placed or afflicted, it can bring disrepute, and it can also bring a lack of emotional satisfaction if you ignore the 4th house matters. Here you can have some ups and downs with the relationship with your father also. There may be some ego clashes, for example. Rahu in the 10th can make you well connected with people in authority. It could be law, it could be finance, it could be politics. All careers are favored by this Rahu position, but there can also be all sorts of disruptions in your career path. But this Rahu will keep you propelling further. Like, it will give you the ambition to keep going. It can also, at some point, give some blemish to your reputation. You can also be seen as an outcast in your career, as you may do things in a very unorthodox way. So try to avoid scandals and try to avoid unethical actions with career stuff, with career matters, and just generally with your image, with your reputation. After the maturity of Ketu at 48, you will see significant improvements in your life, even in this area. It may also take you till midlife to find a career or a life path that you're happy with. This is especially the case if the sun is sitting with Rahu or Ketu. There's a tendency to compare yourself with others, or you may attract those who are doing this with you and are either indirectly or directly, inadvertently maybe, or very blatantly competing with you. You can very easily attract that. Rahu here can also make you tempted to take shortcuts, to move away from your responsibilities. Though this tends to catch up if you're in Rahu Dasha. It can easily give fame, as I mentioned. It's good for a career abroad, outside of your birthplace, and it's also good for dealing with foreigners through something you're like, maybe something that you're like a service that you're providing or something you're selling. In fact, you'll feel very comfortable with people of different backgrounds and cultures with this Rahu placement. Again, you have to see what's happening within the Dharmatrikon to see how effective Rahu is, and see also who's in the 2, 6, 10 in your chart, and how is Saturn doing in your chart, right? Because Saturn is a natural ruler of the 10th house. That will give you a better grasp of what effects to expect from Rahu. In any case, results get better with time. There could be many struggles in earlier life with this placement, with that Ketu in the 4th house. Rahu in the 10th can cause scandal, loss of reputation earlier in your earlier years too, as I mentioned. And this can actually also be brought about by a personal relationship. But later in life, this position it improves. It improves with time. It's a good placement. In fact, you may feel that you're destined for a special purpose in life. And a Rahu that is supported by auspicious planets, especially Jupiter, can take you very high in life. You may get help from your father's side of the family, and also maybe from your superiors, like maybe your bosses. But again, there could be hidden costs, so be careful about what is being offered to you. This Rahu placement can bring some shifts in your profession, especially during those years that I mentioned, like between the ages of 42 and 47. You may go, like, for example, like you may go from being an accountant to a nutritionist, like something extreme, something completely different. Life after middle age can be highly successful with this Rahu placement. So that's all for now, folks. If you liked the video, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Cheers. Bye.